The only difference from like the traditional Albanian food in Kosovo is in Kosovo they had a thing called flea, and it was super good. They don't have it in Albania, but it's just it's sort of like a little thicker than crepe batter, but they get a really big circular dish and they put like a layer of the batter on, and then they put some like cream in between, and then another layer, so there's like 12 layers of it, and they bake it, and it's so good. And I always ate it with pesto sauce from the store, and a member would make that for us all the time, and it was the best thing in the world. But they eat bread over there a ton, and the bread over there is super cheap. It's like 50 cents, but the bread is 100 times better than like the best brand of bread here in America. And I would eat like half a loaf a day. I gained quite a bit of weight on my mission because of the food. But I loved their Greek salads. Their vegetables and fruits over there are super fresh. And they don't go through, they're so much better in Albania than they are here. Because I feel like a lot of our fruits are processed, even the fruits and veggies. And it's straight from the tree, straight from the ground over there. And it was to die for. They have super good stuffed peppers. Their dal is actually super good. I like, not the homemade dal. Dal is sort of, I've heard you could use dal as buttermilk when you bake sometimes. So it's like a sour milk. But I learned to love it towards the end of my mission. But yeah, they just have, it's very Greek influence, I feel like, their food. But it's super good, and I crave it every day. It's so good.
The first thing that we ate when we got in the country was something called a Turkish doner, which a doner in Albania is like a panini, and a Turkish doner is like a breakfast burrito, which was interesting, like a spicy breakfast burrito. So peskravic is something else that is super good. I missed that when I went back down to Albania. It's like a big, like hamburger, but it's made with like chofte meat. So it's like a different spiced meat that they put into it, and they stuff it like full of cabbage, and it's like very like with like a lot of sauce. So it's like a very saucy cabbage with like a big chofte burger, and it's super good. Into like this big flatbread. Like we would eat one and it would fill us up, and it was so good we got to where we eat two for lunch because they were super good. Yeah, peskravic. Their burek was pretty good as well. It was bigger in Albania. They had a lot more common, and I think it was better in Albania. But burek is, if you go to Kosovo, peskravic, burek, Turkish doner are the main. I think that's what we ate probably 4 out of 7 days of the week. Souvlaci is like the hamburger, like the fast food hamburger version in Albania. I think it's a gyro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Gyho or RO. So it's like a flatbread, and then they put it's called salskosi in Albanian. In English, it's cucumber and sour cream sauce, tzatziki. They put tzatziki on it, and then they put they have a vertical spit that they have like layers of either chicken or beef or pork on. So it's on a vertical spit and has a burner on the backside. So as it spins, it cooks it, and they just cut off the outside layers as it cooks it. And so it's just like a bunch of little greasy strips of meat like this. It's super good. They put that in there. They put like onions or cucumbers or whatever you want, and then they put fries on top, and then they just like douse it in ketchup. And they give you a little fork. And so normally what I would do is just like, eat the fries with the ketchup with the fork, and then you grab the whole thing, and it's super good. Like making me hungry just thinking about it. It's super good. Then their like drinks were pretty good as well. They had something called Fanta Exotic. It's Fanta Exotic. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And any time that anyone I know goes back to Albania, they bring it back because it's just a really good, like Fanta is usually like not a very good like label, like, oh, I love to go out and get my Fanta because it's like the highest end thing that I can get. But Fanta Exotic is like super worth it. And then their fruit, like it's like it's not carbonated. It's like a fruit juice, but it tastes like Jolly Ranchers. That one's really good too. Man, I miss Albanian foods. Then burek. So they have a couple different ways to do burek. Basically what burek is they take dough and they put it like as thin as you can possibly do it. Then they do it like 100 times, and so it's like really flaky pastry kind of stuff. And either they put something in it and then roll it up, and then put that roll into like a U shape, or like they just roll it up so it's like a super long, really thin, like a enchilada sized roll of like meat or it's called cheese, but I think it is like feta, like a really crumbly feta, which is pretty strong, or spinach or potatoes, or if you can find someone that'll make it for you, like specifically, then you can bring in whatever you want, and they usually just like make it. But the best ones are when they bake it as like, it looks like a pizza, but with a top on it, and they just cut it into like a quarter, and you just have like this quarter of like super full meat pastry deal. And we used to get it for breakfast like every day. It's so good. Yeah, burek is like, I miss that for sure. Baklava is their dessert of choice. Tulumba is super good. It's everything, pretty much all their treats are, it's like a cracker, or it's like super sweet. Like baklava is like drenched in sugar, and tulumba is like, it's like the size of a Twinkie, and it's just in this like honey, like sugar, like fluid, and that one's really good as well. But other than that, a lot of times, like in, their traditional way of eating is put out a bunch of plates of different kinds of food, and then you just kind of everyone has a fork, and then you just like grab what you want with a fork. So no one, like, you can have a plate, and if they know you're American and they know you, like, that's the way that you eat, they usually give you a plate and then you can put stuff onto it. But the traditional way of eating is you just have like olives, meat, cheese, bread, cucumbers, all these different items on the table, then you just kind of grab and eat what you want, which is, most of it is super good. Dal. So dal is pretty much yogurt and salt, and it comes in a bottle, and it is, I don't think I actually ever drank it, but it had a tradition for like being super nasty. And one of the Albanians described it to me that the only way to drink, or the best way to drink dal, is you're on the beach for like 8 hours, you haven't drunk anything the whole time, you have like the taste of salt in your mouth, you're just super thirsty, and you walk like up from the beach, and if you can get a cold dal and you drink that, that's like the best thing on earth. But outside of that situation, it might not be the best idea. So pretty much if you're super parched, it's fine, but it's traditionally, I think it's just an acquired taste. Because some of the missionaries ended up liking it, but I don't think I ever tried it.